Reflection API, and let's demonstrate how to use Reflection API to get some private field and method inside a class. So we all know that if we have a class and that class contains private field and private method, and we cannot call it or invoke it or access it. So Reflection API provides us a way that we can, during the runtime, read every element inside a class or object. So because JVM use class loader to load the whole class into the memory, so Reflection API will provide us a way that we can read any object what's inside, and it can call and modify all the elements in it. Okay, so by saying that, we can use the Reflection API to get all the fields, the name, the types, the value, change the value, and also we can get all the methods and call the method, and also we can access something that we're not supposed to access, okay, using a normal Java code. So, but everything is done during the runtime because we have to start JVM first, and then the JVM can access those objects or classes. Okay, so the Reflection API is very powerful, but at the same time it's very dangerous. Okay, it can cause a lot of issue if you don't properly design or written the code. So let's see. We have a class called Apple, and then I'm just gonna give a color field. All right, and that's it. Okay, so like this. And if in the normal class, right, it's in the text. Normally we do a apple. Okay, and then there's no way we can call the color, right? So there's no such field here at all. But if I change this to public, okay, then we can call the color, right? You can just set the color to red, and also we can read the color out. Okay, so this is here. Okay, so but if we change it to private, and we can use Reflection API. How to use it? We can simply start from the apple.class, okay, which is an object of the class, and then we can get, okay, and we can get declared field. Okay, here as you can see, we can either by name or we can get all the fields. Okay, so that is declared inside this particular class. Okay, Apple class. And let's see, we want to get the field called color, okay, like this. And it will throw exception, so we can just simply throw exception, all of them, for the time being. And once we get this, it will return us a field object. Okay, so this is going to represent the field of this color field. You can think of like it's this line. Okay, it returns this line as the object inside this field object. And now, okay, so we can actually call f dot, we set accessible to true, and also we're gonna set the value. Okay, so which object? I'm gonna set a. I'm gonna also set the value as, let's see, green, for example. Okay, so then in this case, we actually use reflection to change the color of object a to green. Okay, and to prove that, let's just add a toString method here. Okay, so the toString method apple color equals 2, right? And we put 2 print out. One is system out print here before we change the value, and then after we change the value, right, using reflection. And now we run the code. Okay, so you can see now apple color is null and apple color now is green. All right, so same thing if we change it again. Okay, so change it to red and run the code, then it will be changed to red. Okay, so same thing if we have a private method. Okay, so let's see if we have a private void a method. Okay, and we just print out here is a private method. Okay, so normally we cannot run or call this method, right? There's there's no a method, but same idea, right? So here you can now guess. We can use apple.class.get declared method or methods. Okay, so methods will return an array, so you can just get all the methods there. but we just for this we're gonna only use get declared method, and we have a name. Okay, so we give a method. Okay, so it's just a string, so you don't have to know like whether it exists or not. Okay, and here we can just put null as a parameter. We don't have any parameters, and the method m, right? So it returns a method object, and you can think of this method object is now representing this line, right? So this line here, and now we want to run it. Okay, m dot set accessible to true because it's private, and then we can call m dot invoke. Okay, I'm gonna invoke a method called a method inside the a object, and the parameter is null. Okay, so this is the way that we can dynamically call a method just by knowing its name, even though it is private. Okay, you can see here is the code. All right, so Reflection API is very useful to create some code that can access other objects without knowing what's inside ahead of time. Or also you can use it to access the private methods if you need to. But usually, like we want to write some generic code without knowing the class name. Okay, so we can use Reflection APIs. This is only the one way, okay, to get the method, but there's multiple different ways to get the class, to get the methods. So we won't go too detailed, but you know what Reflection API and class loader can do. Okay, thank you.